Hello, my name is Tom, and I want to talk about addictions. In this case, alcohol addiction, but you can blueprint it for everything. Addiction is addiction, regardless what you see as addiction. I mean, sugar, alcohol, nicotine, caffeine, the smartphone addiction with dopamine, or medications. They are drugs too. But especially you have to understand that alcohol is not a social drug. It's a hardcore drug. It makes you hardcore addicted. This is what people don't understand, because it has not so much consequences in some case, and people labeled it as a normal to drink alcohol in the public and when they party and stuff, but people don't understand that alcohol is a highly addictive substance, and with one drink or one drop of alcohol you can be addicted again. That's what anti-alcoholics experience. I drink a lot of alcohol too, but I consider myself not an anti-alcoholic. Yes, my father was an anti-alcoholic, and he wanted to throw him on the rail tracks, but he got stopped and then he got in a mental hospital. Yes, and he was now since 2019. He was an anti-alcoholic. Yes, but he didn't want to learn from his mistakes, and he did the same shit again. He's not an alcoholic anymore. Now he's an medication addict. And this is the weird thing what I didn't understand, until I experienced myself this shit. I had ayahuasca. I took ayahuasca, I would say, 2 times, because I wanted to find out what this disability is, what I had, that what got forced up onto me, labeled onto me since I was a little boy. I mean, I don't had it from the start, but they called it genetics and stuff. It's from man, the genetic male. Only from males they can give it to the next. What I want to say is, fuck, yeah, males. The male gene gives it to the next to the children. Oh, fuck. It can only give them away from the genetic code of the male. In some way, I believe this, but it makes no sense at all. Because, yes, my father has it, and the 3 brothers from him has it not, or don't have it, and the sister has it, but she has it more chronically. Yeah, that's the word. But none of my 5 cousins have it either. I'm the only one who has it, and it didn't make sense, So I took ayahuasca when I was in 2019. Yeah. And it was a holy shit experience, because I saw stuff and I felt stuff that I could never feel before, and then, I got insane, So, and I was 2 times in the mental hospital, and I was in the mental hospital, and I thought to myself, they're all insane, these people. But I didn't understand why I said this, because I didn't understand what I said, what I meant with all this, even back in the past. Because if you're under influence of alcohol or whatever addiction you have, then you are blinded from it. So I understood that they're all insane now, 4 years later, because you're suppressing your emotion, what comes up. Yeah, it was coming up with ayahuasca, all this trauma, all this shit, and you have to suppress these emotions with medication. Made they brutal drugs too, It's like alcohol plus 10 times extreme. Because they suppress your emotional feeling like instant. And yeah, of course they're all insane in the mental hospital. because you want to cure people to give them medication so that they don't have to relive their abuse from childhood. Yes, you can only, and if you do take medications, you're fucked, because the next time this emotional trauma comes up, then you're getting more insane. And insanity is that I can, after experienced 3 times, the third time I said, fuck this, I don't go into a mental hospital anymore, and I don't take drugs, but medications in this case. If it kills me, then it kills me. I don't trust anyone anymore. And in this case, it was the right thing to do, because you cannot trust anyone in this healthcare system. Medication to suppress emotions and feelings and sensations, so you don't go against the people who abused you. Like I said, there are only 3 options. First, you kill the people who abused you, or you kill yourself, or you cut off the ties to everyone who's involved with this. And if you understand, this is your own journey, and if you fail, you're dead, And this is the thing that would keep me in some way alive. Because if you compare all this shit with addiction, and every addiction, with the Neo in the Matrix, you see that every addiction is the blue pill of the Matrix. I mean, people believe all sorts of shit. What I found out in the last 4 years, And in some way it starts with abuse, with gaslighting, with if you're a brave boy or a brave girl or whatever, you consider yourself. Today it's totally insane what people think they are, and the aliens live on the planet. I know people are insane, and I understand that there's all this what people believe all, and this demons what they create to fit in a fucking society that is not at all social. People have to suppress their own beings to fit in, like I said before. If you're a brave boy, a brave girl, you become candy, you become a toy. If you're polite, then you get something, But in this case, you lose something. You lose the only thing what's you, that you say no and reject things what you don't like, and have resistance against things what you don't like. All this range of motion. People don't have any motions anymore, Like I can say, I drink a lot of stuff, What I now understand with almost 43, What I understand now is that you're living in a world full of delusions. I mean, and you get sucked into this shit, and nobody knows the reality. Nobody understands that alcohol is a drug. I mean, with this anonymous alcoholic shit. I mean, that is not anonym alcoholic. They are addictions. They're all addicts. Justifying alcohol or nicotine or sugar addiction or caffeine addiction or the medication addiction is the drug itself. It's the inner critic what people talk about. It's the inner critic to lie to yourself, gaslight yourself, to be still addicted to all this shit. For myself, I can see it still that I play in computer games and all sorts of stuff because I have so much anxiety and so much fear of abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, and psychological abuse, what I had in my childhood, to fit in a fucking family or in the society itself. I mean, and people don't understand it because they are addicts. This is the insane part. I mean, addictions, especially alcohol addiction, is like what I can now compare. Like I said, my father was an alcohol addict, and he was, after 20 years, they married my mother again, and then in 2010 he had a heart attack, and now he's a medic addict, You can say it seems like insane, for me, if I standing beside it and see, yeah, you were an alcohol addict, you were a theater player, you were playing all sorts of games, and then you blaming the alcohol for it because you didn't want to learn. You made the same shit again, and now you're alcohol addict because you together with a woman you never wanted in the first place, and she never wanted a child. And this is what I always subconsciously know, and what I found out after a deep inquiry and letting go of all sorts of topics with women, with men, with masculinity, femininity, all these lies and deceptions from society in school. I can say we had last year, or now it was before Corona or after Corona. No, it was after Corona. We had some class meeting, after 25 years. And there's all sorts of themes was coming up for me. And I can say that I was never real me. I mean, never. Because they labeled this physical abuse as a disability, what they did to me. I mean, my father didn't want to have my mother didn't want to have a child, and after 2, I was undersupplied in the mother's body, and after 2 hours after birth, they gave me away, because nobody wanted to take the responsibility. My father didn't want to take responsibility. My mother didn't want to take responsibility, and the nurse said, "Yes, don't take the responsibility either for the baby, that it stays with my parents, because I was undersupplied." In this case, it was good, because there's no mother-child bond. There's no emotional connection with my mother. In this case, you can say the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, helped, so I had to stay with this people that didn't want me in the first place. I mean, if I had a mother-child bond with a mother that never wanted me in the first place, I mean, it would be horrible. And maybe I would be nicotine addict and alcohol addict too, both at the same time, and maybe I would be an abuser or a rapist, whatever, who hurts women because my mother, and maybe I would kill people or whatever. But in this case, I had all to take in this abuse, the psychological, emotional, and physical, of course. So what I want to say is that people often want to blind about themselves, about their abuse, and they don't understand that some small drugs that have no influence on you, or you think that have no influence of you, because you think you can handle drugs, like in this case alcohol, like my father. How I see it is like that people have headaches. Some call it hangover. In Germany we call it cat, or it's the male cat, I cannot really say. It's called Carter, it's like a cat, but a male cat. I don't know why they called it like that. But people from English-speaking people see it as a hangover. But what it really is like brain damage. It's like, why do you have headaches? Because you have to go against your own beliefs, behaviors to survive. And if people close to you threatening you, then you have headaches, because you have to fight against your beliefs to survive. And this is why you have headaches. You have to do things that have serious consequences. And you have to make decisions against your own beliefs. And this is why people get headaches, because they have to make a decision. And there's another type of stuff if you have headaches. It's if you have an accident or you're hitting your head against the wall. How much do you have to hit your head against the wall until you have brain damage? I mean, you have to take this in, because you don't see this brain damage, what you do with alcohol. You just feel it. And then you medicate it, because people label it as normal. Oh yeah, you just have a hangover. You have drink yourself into coma. Yes, this is what people do. They drink themselves into oblivion, into death. And this is, people don't get it. If you're on the other side of the river, so to speak, of addiction, in this case, alcohol addiction or whatever addiction you have, then you can see the reality it is. What people don't understand is this, that they believe that they have no consequences with this. Because they can, I can take aspirin or some headache pills, whatever you want to call it, and then everything is fine because you don't feel the pain anymore. So the next time you can drink again. Yeah, this is this insanity. This is this highly addictive substance. Because you think you can handle this stuff. This is why anonymous alcoholics say that you drink 1 drop of alcohol and you're back. Yeah, you can compare it with the blue pill and the red pill of the Matrix. You take the blue pill and believe what you want to believe. But people don't understand this brain damage what they do to themselves. You can, if you have your inner critic, if you understand what it means, that gaslights you, lie to yourself to be addicted. What it really is the drug itself, that you're justifying the drug because you're addicted. This is what it is. In my perspective, of course. You can believe what you want, but addiction is addiction, regardless what addiction this is. Today, it's more easier to understand what addiction really is. Because we have the smartphone addiction and people understand it, and some people feel it that you get addicted to it. You're searching for the next shot. It's like hardcore heroin addiction. I need the next shot. The next. To feel better. And then on the end of the day, they totally exhausted because and the next day is the same. Yeah, and so the intelligent people are then drinking this good stuff, if you want to compare with this, they drink then this high percentage stuff that's what's good, that is good brewed, so they then cannot feel this brain damage anymore. That's what they do to themselves. I mean, I can understand it now in my perspective, because I can reflect on the past. And I understand it why some people say, or it's called, that it takes 7 years to get a substance out of your body. I mean, yes, you can make it faster, of course, but you have to understand how to release emotions. And this is what it depends. It's all emotions, and people don't want to feel emotions anymore. I heard someone say, he called Orlando Owen, and he said, the problem with people is that they don't want to feel a legit pain. So they always going around pain. If they feel, because the pain is a good emotion in some way. It's not a bad emotion. It's not a low emotion. It's a pain. It's an emotion of that. If it hurts, you should maybe stopping that. But people cannot, because at first they are addicted to the substance, to this alcohol, nicotine, caffeine, sugar, computer, smartphone, console games, whatever addiction this is. I mean, if you become more aware and you see all this high performers, they all addict, regardless what performer it is, they're all alcohol addicts. You can every addict. In this case for me, Metallica. James Hetfield was an alcohol addict too. They all drink because they all have to high perform, to fit in a society, to become someone, and then you have to lose yourself because this addiction, like Master of Puppets, it's not only for heroin addiction, it's every drug is addiction, and this is the insanity what people don't understand, the reality of it. I mean, I can understand it much clearly because I've been through so much stuff in the past, and almost 43 years, and I kept, and there's still emotional themes with stuff, with myself, with stuff. I say always stuff. This is her head always with stuff. Yeah. And I kept myself that I want to say something and I hide it, This is still not being honest, about other people. But how should you be honest with other people if they don't understand it? They don't understand this addiction stuff, this addiction, the substances, and they lie and betray each other and hypocrites. And I mean, if you see the world, nobody was standing up in some way to fight against this corona shit, Nobody. People got depressed with this oh yeah, corona, that's like that. We have a killer virus and sorry. And everything is fine. Everything what people arguing with each other, no, there's no arguing. Corona is a killer virus and we have to believe it. I mean, it's the same like with alcohol addiction. It's the inner critic, inner liar, inner whatever you call it. In psychology, there are a lot of terms, a lot of explanations what it is. So I wanted to share this experience what I had. It was in some way an enlightenment experience. I woke up, and it was there that alcohol is a hardcore addiction, and it's not like a simple. You can say it with every drug. I mean, I see it in this case. People have it worse, who are alcoholics and smoking. For example, like I see it, it's like you standing in a house, it's burning, you're dying much faster from the smoke than from the fire itself. And if you don't want to feel that you die with smoking, then you drink and blind yourself and gaslight yourself with alcohol so you don't feel it anymore, the fear, pain, whatever. I understand that people have it worse than me, but not really. I mean, if you're abused since an infant, then and people label you as a disabled guy. My mother said it always, I have to be happy or thankful that other people have it worse. Yeah. I mean, yes, I understand what she means, yeah. So, because I can see the society what it is. I mean, you can say in some way it has an end, because people have to face their own shit, because nothing what's not capable of surviving is dying, I mean, it's like in nature. If you're too weak in this case, or you're not intelligent enough, not conscious enough, making always the same mistakes again and again and again, you will feel pain, and you will have the consequences, and you will have to pay the price, because it's your life. I mean, you can change, but there's a lot to release from the past. And then maybe you feel that everything is empty. Sometimes I had this, because there's so much addiction, and this drinking you into apathy, that you have to go through this apathy, and everything seems meaningless, especially if you're labeled like, don't be like that, don't act like that, don't be scared, don't be angry at me, an Indian don't feel pain, you don't touch girls down there, you can hurt them, search for girls in your age, girls don't come into my flat. Then you can understand what I got labeled. And I had to suppress my emotions, feelings, sensations. I mean, you can understand why teenagers start to drink alcohol and smoke, because they got blamed as a boy, blamed as a girl. And then the sex drive starts to kick in, and you have to suppress it with alcohol or nicotine and all sorts of addictions. Some people are lucky, maybe you can say lucky, if they only sugar addicts, because they don't have to go to this gaslighting and self-abuse and self-hate with alcohol and nicotine to kill their bodies and their brains and the consciousness. I mean, but they will eventually wake up, and like I said, there are only three things. You kill yourself, you kill the others, or you're going the other way, an own way, and cut out all this toxic people. I mean, everybody in this matrix, you can call it, what people always call this, or call it back to the movie Matrix. So this is what I want to say. Maybe I do some other talks where I'm talking and you listening. Thank you. I wanted to share this because I guess I'm too lazy to write a book or to make videos or make some courses about abuse and stuff. There's a lot of stuff, but I want to share my story and maybe wake people up to the reality that alcohol is a drug, nicotine is a drug, sugar is a drug, caffeine is a drug, because you have to push yourself, because before you have to suppress your emotions with nicotine, alcohol, maybe sugar too. And then you have to push yourself with caffeine. That's then another addiction. Or eating disorders, to put stuff into your face, into your throat, because maybe you cannot speak up, or you have to. This is what I had too, I have all sorts of problems, maybe still have. But I want to help people in this case, that they see through this, what I experienced, that there's a way, but it's not an easy way to get out of these addictions, because we have still this smartphone and internet and this advertising, subconscious manipulation, that you get always sucked into the social media. It's not social at all. I mean, it's not social media. It's an addictive making system. Who back in the days it was advertising on TV screens on stuff, and now it's like It's this constant bombarding of information, and you should be like this, and you should be like that, and you should act like this, and this all this social media. It is not social. It's a system, another system, you can say it, like the comparison of the Matrix, another system of the Matrix to hold you in place, to keep you on your place, so you cannot fulfill your dreams and hopes and wishes and desires, because people cannot feel anything anymore. Because what I want to say is this, that if you think that fear is a weakness, then you have a serious problem. Because fear there's a reason for fear. There's a reason in some case for every emotion. This is what people don't understand. We have the full range of emotion too, because energy is, emotions are energy in motion, what it called, what people say it. So if you cannot have emotions, or you're not allowed to have emotions, or you don't allow yourself to have emotions, there's a lot to release, and there's a lot of tools to help you to get out of this, but it's not without suffering. Because you have to understand that all the damage what you did in the past, or people did to themselves, there's a reason, a subconscious reason, unconscious reason why you did this. Because to fit in or whatever, that your mama and daddy like you, that the people don't abandon you, to be not alone. Oh well, but there's this quote, it's better, no company is better than bad company. Yeah, well, if you're together with addicts and they manipulate you into drinking alcohol again or smoking, yeah, well, then you will understand why it's called like this. So, and now I stop it. So thanks for listening. Maybe to next time when I have another topic.